Just when I thought, okay, hoped that this last matter could be quick and easy, the scroll has decided to throw us a curveball. If all I had was my trusty King James Version or even a number of the other English translations, I might wonder if there was some confusion in transmission from God to Moses on this one. But if I look at the original source, my opinion changes quick, fast, and in a hurry. I think God really did say what he meant and meant what he said. Either way, we're about to find out as we finish this series on the 10 matters that still matter to God. My name is Keith Johnson of Biblical Foundations Academy International. Our mission is to inspire people like you and those around the world to build a biblical foundation for their faith. Welcome to Scripture Bites. Please forgive me as I might be just a bit giddy. Can you blame me? Putting this series together has been some hard work, but hopefully well worth it. Let's get this study started. CB, please upload our control verse for this 10th matter. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, nor shalt thou covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Exodus chapter 20, verse 17, KJV. Did I just say ass? Oops. Wait a minute. No need for an oops. The KJV translated the word into ass. I sure am glad we aren't going into depth on that word, or we might need to deploy the bleep feature. Let's keep studying. Can I be honest and admit I have no idea what the word covet means? In fact, I argue that the English word covet is meant to cause some question as a way to let you and me off the covet hook. Of course, the original word is not so easy to dismiss. CB, please display the scroll source of our control verse with vowels as usual. Okay, even though I am convinced that some of you Scripture Bite students are ready for the entire verse, we're only going to bite off the first 8 words. Hey, no complaining. You will appreciate it later. Let's jump right into a word that for the first time shows up twice in the same matter. Do you see it? Reading from right to left, the second and 6th words are exactly the same, at least in this verse. It is the Hebrew word tahmod. No need for a grammar alert because most of you will recognize it as the same cal imperfect second person masculine singular verb form, just as we have seen in some of the previous matters. I am really quite curious, as you should be, in seeing how the KJV translators dealt with this word. The reason is because I studied ahead and noticed something really interesting. But before we get to comparing and contrasting translations, let's do the same for the original. CB, please display the first 8 Hebrew words in Deuteronomy chapter 5:21, the parallel verse of our 10th matter. Now, please display the first 8 words of our control verse from Exodus chapter 20, verse 17 in Hebrew side by side, or however you are able to do it. Okay, do you see what I see? Moses rearranged the words from Exodus and even exchanged a word that caused the KJV translators a bit of a challenge. Let me show you what I mean. I sure hope CB can illustrate this. Reading from right to left, the first 2 words, velo tahmod, are the same in both passages, except that one begins with a vav conjunction. The next 2 words in Deuteronomy, eshet re'echa, are switched with the 2 words bait re'echa from Exodus 20:17. More importantly, Moses chose not to duplicate the 2 words tahmod from Exodus and instead uses a brand new word tikaveh in a very interesting different verbal form. Now, for kicks and giggles, CB, please display the KJV translation of the first 8 words of both verses.
What does kicks and giggles mean?
CB, don't lose focus on me now. Please display the KJV translation of Exodus 5:17 and Deuteronomy 5:21 together. Neither shalt thou desire thy neighbor's wife, neither shalt thou covet thy neighbor's house. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 21, KJV. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife. Exodus 20:17, KJV. Now here comes the big question. Why does the KJV translate tachmod as covet in Exodus 20:17 while translating the exact same word in the parallel matter in Deuteronomy 5:21 as desire? Secondly, why did they translate titave as covet? CB, please let's start by displaying how many times the word tachmod is found in the scroll source in the Cal imperfect form. Okay. Please display the scripture references for our serious Scripture Bite students who want to look up those verses. Exodus 20:17, Exodus 34:24, Deuteronomy 5:21, Deuteronomy 7:25, Isaiah 53 verse 2, and Proverbs 6:25. What you will notice is that in our control verse, they translated the word as covet, but that is the only occurrence. In the other verses, they translated it as desire, except in the Proverbs verse where they translated it as lust. If we check our Brown Drivers Briggs Hebrew and English lexicon, we find this definition. It's a verb which means desire, take pleasure in. It also has, in a bad sense, of inordinate, ungoverned, selfish desire or lustful desire. Another place, it says take pleasure in or idolatrous tendency. Well, that definition explains why the KJV translates the word as desire or lust. Now for the word titave, that deserves a grammar alert. It is a hitpael, imperfect, second person masculine singular verb meaning to desire. I just can't help it. I want to dig a bit deeper by studying the root of this word. What I usually like to do is look for the first time a root word is used in scripture to see if I can gain some insight. And sure enough, that is exactly what happened in this case. CB, please display the first time ava, the root word of titave, is used. And when the woman saw the tree, that it was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. Genesis chapter 3, verse 6, KJV. The Hebrew word behind pleasant is a noun in the common feminine singular form. Does anyone think that it's a coincidence that Moses used this word as a way to further explain what it means to covet or desire your fellow's wife? Do you see what he was trying to communicate to the ancient Israelites back then and to us now? If you covet or look at with desire the house or the wife or anything else that is not yours, you may be tempted to take it without permission. As you've probably noticed, this 10th matter is unique among the so-called 10 commandments. The other 9 all involve specific actions, but this one only addresses our thoughts. Furthermore, penalties and consequences are prescribed in Scripture for violations of the other 9 matters, but we find no specific punishment for number 10. The nature of this matter is cause for a pause. Sincere religious people often speak of God's law in negative terms as being purely physical and not dealing with the heart. Some would even go as far as to say that obeying these precepts puts one under a curse. But this 10th matter is just one of many examples of how deeply the God of Israel is and always has been concerned with the heart of man. For example, some people might be surprised to learn that circumcision of the heart is not a new advancement into spirituality, but an ancient requirement. It was Moses who first exhorted the people of Israel, saying, "So circumcise your heart and stiffen your neck no longer." Deuteronomy 10:16 in the NASB. Purity of heart and mind was no less of a requirement back then than it is for those who seek to follow God today. In practical terms, if we look back over the first 9 matters, it is not hard to see how covetousness, an inordinate desire, longing, or lust can lie at the root of each one. In that sense, this 10th matter gets at the true heart of the matter, because if we fail to govern our hearts, we will soon find ourselves at serious odds with God over one of these crucial matters that still matter very much to Him. We could go into much more depth about this concept and its implications for us today, but I'm going to save that approach for our premium content library folks who want to dig deeper with us in the 3T mini-series and future scripture bites as we're able to produce them. Now, Let's learn the first 8 words of this 10th matter with our minds and hide them in our hearts, nice and slow, one word at a time. Lo, tachmod, bait, ra'eka. Lo, tachmod, eshet, ra'echa. Again, let's go nice and slow. There are only 5 original words and 3 repeats. The first 2 mean you shall not desire. Lo tachmod. The next 2 words mean the house of your fellow. Bait ra'echa. The next 2 mean you shall not desire. Lo tachmod. And the final 2 words mean the wife of your fellow. Eshet ra'eka. You shall not desire the house of your fellow. You shall not desire the wife of your fellow. Exodus chapter 20:17, Scripture Bites version. And if we keep reading, this verse goes even further to make sure there is no confusion. Nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his nor anything that is thy neighbor's. Exodus 20 verse 17, KJV. I think the point is that if you look with desire, coveting the house or the wife or anything else that is not yours, you may be tempted to take it, and we know what happens if that happens. Just ask Eve and Adam. Well, folks, that's all until next time. Reverse that. There's only a next time, for now at least, if you have signed up for our premium content library. If so, then we will keep reading, watching, and studying together by diving into the 3T mini-series. And even if you decide that the premium content library isn't for you, you can still play this 10 Matter Scripture Bite series over and over again, as many times as you like. Remember what I love to say. Keep reading, studying, listening, and watching at bfainternational.com. Hey friends, this is Keith Johnson. This is a behind-the-scenes peek of the premium content library at bfainternational.com. I'm about to do something really quite radical. Want to give you a chance to experience it for yourself. But first, would you do me a favor and take a look at a short video? As soon as that's done, come back to me.
Dear friend, at Biblical Foundations Academy International, we believe that God reveals His will and His way through His Word, and we want to help you understand it in an exciting way. We promise to continuously bring you what we consider to be lightning in a bottle through our video presentations, and you can now experience it for yourself in our Academy Premium Content Library. Imagine yourself sipping a cup of tea or coffee in the morning, tablet in hand, or maybe crunching into an apple during lunch with your smartphone propped up on your desk. Or perhaps settling into your favorite chair after a long day of work, laptop open, ready to dig deeper into the things of God. In our academy, you'll have 24/7 access to a digital library filled with resources that will bring biblical language, history, and context alive for you. These presentations will equip you to understand and apply God's instruction in your life, wherever and whenever you are available. We have produced over 50 engaging presentations, making for a year's worth of weekly viewing. You'll get immediate access to Time Will Tell Season 1, filmed by Keith Johnson in Rome and Israel. The Road to Reformation series, outlining 8 steps to biblical reformation. His Hallowed Name, remastered and including a special update on God's name. The Now is the Time series, including the popular Christmas special. The 18-hour Open Door Live Teaching series with guest Nehemiah Gordon, the Right on Time series, the Growing Biblical Brick Teaching series, Premium Scripture Bites, bringing you ancient Hebrew Bible studies one bite-sized portion at a time, and so much more to come. For as little as $9.99 a month or $99 a year, you'll get access to the entire BFA Premium Content Library. As an added bonus, you'll also have access to well over 100 other resources on the BFA International site, including dramatized readings, original songs, radio shows, and much more. When you join the Premium Content Library, you are helping us with the cost of producing even more inspirational content. In other words, your support will help us support you. And now, we've decided to throw the doors of the library wide open For a full 7 days, we are offering you free membership. There's no need to wait any longer. You'll now be able to try it out for free and make sure you are completely satisfied before you pay anything. So start today. Upgrade your free membership now. Simply enter the Academy, then use the Premium Content Library dialog box on the right. If you are not already a free member, simply visit bfainternational.com and click Enter the Academy button to get started. So what are you waiting for? Enter the Premium Content Library today.
Well, friends, I hope that's clear. We have enough material in the Premium Content Library right now that if you watch one presentation a week, it will take you a full year. And with your help, we have even more that's coming. Why delay? Push the button today. And in the end, you're going to help us, we're going to help you, and together, we're going to reach people around the world, inspiring people to build a biblical foundation for their faith. Thank you.
This is your SBI assistant. Did you enjoy this scripture bite? If so, share it with your friends. Be sure to become a free member at bfainternational.com to download a PDF companion study guide for this edition of Scripture Bites. Visit bfainternational.com today to join the conversation.